Samer, welcome to Restrocast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What got you in F&B?
You don't choose to be in the F&B.
It happens to you.
It happened to me big time. I was a shy kid the early ages, my adolescence, and I was very good in school. I was a guy that is more interested with numbers.
What was the experience of that first year? I don't want to go back.
Because I felt that I can change and to be more sociable, more confident with myself.
And then, you moved to Egypt.
Yeah, in 2008. Back then, it wasn't like this. There were no aggregators or online apps taking calls and putting people on hold and talking directly to a customer service agent. And then in the kitchen, you have the dispatchers, and then you have your own drivers with their own bike. It started to feel like, am I doing it right or wrong? After like a year, we need to go and explore what's happening in the Gulf, especially in Doha, because the World Cup was in 2020. Personally, I'm a little bit aggressive in terms of delivering the quality that we are signed off, the quality that the employer is expected from you, the concept is expecting from you.
Tell me about your leadership style.
If you take it from bottom to top, you will learn how to deal with your team when you are in a senior position, when you reach the top. You have to be a leader when you need to be, and you have to be the father when you need to be, and you have to be the mentor when you need to be. It's a show at the end. When you go to any restaurant, it's a show, it's a play. The manager has a role, the barista has a role, the waiters have a role.
What's your advice for a newcomer who wants to build a career in restaurant industry?
They have to know that they are coming to an industry, it's full of stress.
Hi, welcome to Restrocast. Today my guest on the pod is an F&B veteran, Samer Nasrallah. He's currently the country manager of a beloved chocolate brand in KSA called Patchi. Samer's journey is not only inspiring, but it is a journey that will tell you how non-linear path of success is. How we make plans all the time, and not only the plans don't land, but at times our success comes from the fact that our plans didn't land. Somebody who started with a bang in all his career stints, but had to move countries each time for external reasons such as war and political unrest and currency devaluation. And yet somebody who, you can feel has traversed this journey with a lot of ownership. For me, this was a great learning conversation. I not only got to learn about, all the volatility in the world, but I got to learn about how to, take the bull by horns and win over it. Do watch. Samer, welcome to Restrocast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for this one.
Awesome. Samer, tell us, what is it that you do today? We'll start with your introduction of what are you up to today?
Actually, now I'm the F&B Country Manager for Patchi Café in Saudi and Bahrain. We have 8 branches in the kingdom, and we have 2 branches in Bahrain. So I'm handling all the F&B operations. And as you know, Patchi is a chocolate place. So we have both the retail part and the food and beverage part in the same locations. So I'm handling both parts in these 10 locations now.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been in Saudi. I've been here for 2 years and a half now with the same company, with Patchi. 2 years and a half.
2.5, okay.
2.5 years here in Saudi, based in Riyadh. And I'm coming from Egypt. The past 9 years before here, I was in Egypt, in Cairo.
I always, I'm curious, F&B business is a little crazy. More than a little crazy. Yeah. It's always on your toes.
Sure.
Something that most of the professionals who want to work and who want, to have a work-life balance or some semblance of life around work.
It's just theoretical.
Yeah, it's just theoretical. What got you in F&B? What got you in restaurant industry?
Well, like everyone else is you don't choose to be in the F&B.
It happens to you.
It happened to me big time. If I want to start from the beginning, I'm Lebanese. Obviously, I was born and raised in Beirut. I was a shy kid at the early ages, in my adolescence. I was since a long time a bit overweight, so I had this struggle in my personality, and I was very good in school, to be honest. So I've never imagined not being into math or economics or I was a guy that is more interested with numbers and stuff like that. And in high school, I was graduated for sociology and economics. And my passion was to go into economics in the university. But, sometimes if you don't have enough money, you cannot go to private universities. So you have to choose to be in the Lebanese university back in Lebanon. So it has to have like a sort of test to go into this school, especially with the careers that needs special grades. So I applied on economics, and I was fully convinced and sure that I will make it, and there is nothing can stop me to go to economics. Then I applied, and I did a great job in the test. Surprisingly, for some reason, I wasn't accepted in this university. Maybe it was a sign from I don't know where. So it was in August 2003. And then I was hopeless. I don't want to waste any year in my life just doing nothing. So one day I was having lunch with my mom at home. And I don't know, for some reason, she heard someone, they're in Africa, they work in restaurants, and they make good money for them. Back then, it was a good money. She said, why don't you give it a try and apply on the hospitality school in Beirut? I said, what? It's not me at all. I'm not that guy. She said, give it a try. Anyway, you'll wait another year to apply, another time to go to economy. I said, fine. So I went to this. They were still taking registrations. I applied. They have a written test, and they have as well like interview they do to check your personality and stuff like that. And I got accepted for this one. As I told you, I was good in studying, so I passed it. I went the first year at this École Hôtelière. It's in Beirut. It's hospitality school. So the first year went very well. I had some good friends there. I started to like it. It's based on management more than being in restaurants and working on job. And it has the technical part.
Mostly
it
hotel,
has
right?
two parts, the management part and the technical part together.
But mostly hotel.
Hotel and restaurant. It's for both. It's hospitality. It contains both. But the focus was on the hotels first years. And then it turned out to be another sector. It's more management. It's all the same as you can see it. But you choose which path you go. So, and the first year we had this one teacher who has already a position in banquet and catering. And he was older than us, obviously. So he said, why don't you come and try with us to work on the ground and try to explore if you like it or not? And then I said, yeah, we can go on weekends and try. And started in 2003. The first year I joined the school and the university, and I started to like it. So we finished the first year. I succeeded. And I said, why to waste more time? Let's continue in this career. But I was taking it as management. I don't want to be dragged to this industry. But to be honest, you cannot go far without being from bottom to top. So
you continued your education in hospitality after that, but you were also working part-time at a...
Part-time, yeah. We were in university, so you cannot go to a full-time job. So we went on weekend basis for the first year, second year, third year. I was graduated in 2006. And that year, I don't know if you know, it happened a war in Beirut. I was fresh grad, full of energy. You were... promising yourself that you will make money. Now you will be a full-timer. And then the war happened in July 2006. And we were graduated in July, the year that we were graduated. So we stayed at home, shelters home till the end of the year. Nothing happened. There is no jobs. Country is in a war. Then I got an opportunity as a runner. You're just finished school. And you're graduated, you feel like, and you studied management, but you need to work, you need money at the end of the day. So I joined the group in Beirut, December 2006, as a runner.
Like as a
runner?
Runner at the restaurant?
Yeah, at the restaurant. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
you need to start somewhere. So but it was back in 2006, and then it was a very decent company. They were very cool people, and then things started to be better in Beirut. And I got promoted in the same year from you got waiter, then you go into the bar a little bit, then you got supervisor. So I stayed for around 2 years with this group. And then in 2008 another small war happened in Lebanon. It was in May. So sometimes you start to see signals that if you want to shine or you want to be in a country, it has to be stable. And we were kids. I was 21, 22 years old. And it's not logical to start to make a little bit money and to feel that you have a hope. Then something comes, external factor, and stop you from doing what you are doing, So a friend of mine was in Egypt. We were together in the hospitality school. He went to Egypt before in 2007, and then he came to visit me. I was working in this chain. He said, "Why don't you come to Egypt?" I said, "Egypt, man, come on." It's not about Egypt. It's about the perception you have about a country. So,
and also currency, and
it's everything.
Perception is that it's not going to be, it's not going to pay higher than.
Exactly. But again, you need an escape sometimes. So I said, yeah, nothing to lose. So I grabbed my bag. I got interviewed online and they accepted me. And I went to Egypt in August 2008. This is where the journey literally starts with me outside Lebanon. To be honest, I didn't come back to work in Lebanon since then. So I left in December 2008 and I'm still an expat outside Lebanon. I go for vacation.
But
definitely.
before you go, and talk about Egypt, in 2003, when you accidentally got into the hospitality school, what changed in that 1 year that you continued? Like, what was what changed in you, or what was the experience of that first year that told you that, okay, now you're addicted, or now you're like, I don't want to go back?
To be honest, maybe because I felt that I can change and to be more sociable, more confident with myself. I lost weight when I was in this school because we were wearing some sort of uniform and the technical day we used to do once a week. So I was thinking that this career will shape my personality to someone more sociable, more confident. Honestly, you can see in this industry, and back then the money was good, and still it's good in this industry. We cannot hide the fact whenever you're in a managerial position, you got a good salary. So this was the trigger was, I will be someone better than my current version back in 2003. And I will make money out of this one if I work hard, if I have the degree, if I travel. So these were, your dreams will be, or it's a bit low when you are younger. And then it goes up and it explodes in your head when you go further in life and you have all the experience, all the time, all the money that you can dream bigger and to achieve more. So yeah, it shaped my personality in this one.
And then, you moved to Egypt.
Yeah, in 2008. I started as a delivery and catering manager in a group called Casper and Gambini's. It's a Lebanese chain originally, and they have a big operation in Egypt back in 2008. We took the delivery. Now everyone knows the delivery on aggregators is something very, very cool. You hold the phone, you put the location, and then you order, and then the food at your doorstep. Back then, it wasn't like this. There were no aggregators or online apps. It was fully in-house operation in terms of call center, taking calls and putting people on hold and talking directly to a customer service agent. And then in the kitchen, you have the dispatchers, and then you have your own drivers with their own bike. You have a lot of struggle you work it, and you're coming to a new country. I was 23 years old and it was a chaos. The delivery back then, it's a chaos. Once you work in a high volume restaurant, so you have at the lunchtime 150 to 200 orders to operate. And then it started to feel like, am I doing it right or wrong? And then I went back to the operation manager after 2 weeks. I said, I think I cannot take it anymore. He said, it's still a beginning and you don't know the dynamics of the country and things, how it works here. He said, go home today. Just think again of what you are doing. You took the hardest decision to leave the country and put all your stuff in 2 bags and come to a new country. Don't lose it, because this is the hardest part you already done. So you just need to focus and to see the best out of this scenario. I said, yeah. So it happened. I continued the first contract. It was a year contract. Then a situation happened in the company and few people left the company. So I got the chance to get promoted to restaurant manager. They had a very big unit in New Cairo. It was in a mall with the terrace and it was performing very well. They saw something in me because I have this, experience, little bit of experience. I have the degree, are coming from a good hospitable country. So I got this promotion to outlet manager in 2009. And the passion started with the restaurant as real restaurant manager, with the customers, with the staff, with the mall management, all this, you got it once you're still at this position. So it started from there in 2009. I got the second year promoted to assistant director of operation, because sometimes you try to always think or plan your career and then factors comes and help you to get it faster than you expect. But definitely I was ready. I was always ready. I'm a hard worker by default. I'm perfectionist. I have some OCD in some parts of my personality, and this helps me a lot to be more organized, to have a clear vision to what I do. I take notes a lot. I'm so organized in my filing and everything. So yeah, I got the assistant director.
I think OCD for small things in hospitality and restaurants, I think it's not a problem. It's a superpower.
Yeah, now I can tell you it's the ultimate power we have to keep things on track and to be on top of things. And then in Egypt, back in 2011, I started with this group. The revolution happened in Egypt in January 2011. It was a chaotic situation there.
Did you at that time feel that
what's happening with me? Yeah, it's a lot to take at the age of 25. So unfortunately, we left for security reasons. We stayed around 1 month in Beirut. Then we came back with the new regime, and then the army entered. So the situation changed a lot in Egypt. And we laid off a lot of employees. We got some salary reduction. You know how things happen.
Yeah.
And then after like a year, I said, enough for Egypt now. We need to go and explore what's happening in the Gulf, especially in Doha, because the World Cup was in 2020. So all the vibe was around Doha. So it was in 2012. I decided to leave Egypt. So you start to hear about what's happening in Doha, especially in Doha. Like now what's happening in Saudi.
I didn't realize that the World Cup noise was like for Doha started in 2012.
It's way before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So with all the infrastructures, with the stadiums, with the metro.
Because I remember in 2012 was also the time when Dubai had announced their Expo 2020.
True.
And Dubai was going through, massive change for Expo.
True.
But I didn't realize that
even
Doha backed FIFA then.
Yeah. So I got approached by a company, British one. It's called GIG, Global Infusion Group. They had this partnership with the Lebanese company in Doha. They were specialized with all the sports events, on-site catering, crew catering for the main big sports events. And then I went to Doha in January 2013, beginning of 2013. As logistics and catering director for this company. They have a small accounts, not big accounts, because it was at the early stage of getting the sports events and stuff like that. And in parallel, we started to working with the hotels. accommodating staff canteens, because it's a massive central kitchen and they have a very big potential. So their business plan was to focus on the caterings and sports events. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right moment to be at this scale in Doha. Maybe before the World Cup in a couple of years, things were changed or were different. Now, in 2013, it was a little bit early. So we shifted business. We tried to take as much as we can accounts. We worked the National Day, Doha National Day in 2013. And then they started to reduce the business due to the high cost and operating cost. I decided to move to Iraq. I went to Erbil, Kurdistan. Again, if you know Erbil, it was booming again back in 2013, 14. It was a boom in Iraq. So
really? Why?
Yeah, because Kurdistan, it's a small. It's not small, it's a big zone, but it was an open market. Everyone was investing in Kurdistan. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people. I love them. I went there in February 2014. I left Doha directly to Erbil. It was amazing. I had beautiful friends there. The nature is amazing. They have some mountains. I'm a mountain guy. So I stayed there for 6 months. Unfortunately, in July, again, my career, it's shift or shaped by external events. Okay, sometimes it pushed me to quit what I'm doing. So in Erbil, in July, I remember the date, 29 July. It was the first time that we hear about something called ISIS. Daesh. They entered Mosul.
Really?
In July 29, 2014. Okay, so it was 20 kilometers far from Erbil, from the city where I was. We woke up one day, the army is on the streets, everyone is evacuating the city, and the army will take charge. So the second day, on the 30th of July, I went back to Beirut for security reasons. And the story, it's it's a history at the end. Things changed a lot in Iraq. It was a long period. So for security reasons, definitely, we went back to Beirut. And I stayed.
So that Iraq chapter kind of ended in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
It's overnight, literally. It was an overnight thing. You cannot imagine, because the last night I was living, by the way, on the first floor above the restaurant. We business as usual. We closed the restaurant. I went up, and then the second day you find yourself.
Woke up and everything changed.
Yeah, this is life. Sometimes you don't expect everything. So I went to Beirut. I stayed a nice summer back there in Beirut, and the company in Egypt, they had the director of operation position vacant. So they approached me again. I had some connections. And they said, why don't you come back to work with us in Cairo? Cairo again, but the situation was totally different. The new regime is there and things are stable. So I went back to Cairo in October 2014. I stayed from October 2014 till July 2023. This is the biggest and longest phase I stayed in a country. It was in Cairo. I met my wife in 2016. She's Egyptian, by the way. She's a sweetheart. And I worked with the same group.
Did you meet her at work?
No, it was a private event.
Did you meet her through an app?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was a dinner at home, common friend. So, and we mingled from day one. So I went with Casper and Gambini's in October 2014 till August 2019.
The same company that
you
had left before.
Same company, but with the promotion for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We made the company bigger. We had our almost 8 branches. Casper and
What was the cuisine for Casper?
It was an international cuisine, specialized in international food, salads, pastas, coffee. The coffee was a main part. It was a big name, and it's still a big name in the area. But
I'm asking because you're talking about back in 2007, 2008, they had delivery business.
Yeah. It was still there. We grew up as a company in terms of restaurants, number of restaurants, central kitchen, catering business, ice cream concept, and they diversified the portfolio of the company. I was the director of operation for the 4 concepts. I had 4 concepts there till August 2019. And Ladurée, Paris, it was an UAE investment in Egypt. They wanted to open. So I got approached. It was a long process for the recruiting. I joined them in November 2019, officially. It was a project on paper. Nothing was done except for few documents and some lawyer stuff. So they wanted someone with Egypt experience to start this business. So we start from the company startup in terms of documentation, registration for all the factories, because in Ladurée, if you don't know, we ship the macarons from Switzerland. So it's brand guidelines you have to abide. So everything was smooth and going smooth till COVID hit us mainly in March 2020. The world went crazy, and COVID.
And you had joined them in 2019.
Yeah, in November 2019.
So you're still about to open your first location.
Yeah, we were just finalizing the logistics, and in Egypt things take hell of time to finish your documentation and startup. So COVID slowed up the process in terms of the registration. Actually, in Egypt, COVID was not that bad as people think. And lockdown. Yeah. In Egypt, the lockdown was not that harsh. It was only for 15 days in March as the total lockdown. Yeah.
How?
Things were back to normal. Obviously, it was the right thing to be done, to be honest, with the governments, the government that panicked.
Like you're saying that?
Only for 15 days.
And after that, life in Egypt was as usual. It's
not like business as usual 100%, but it was okay life. You went to a restaurant, some sort of isolations or the 1.5 meter signage that you were doing, but restaurants were open, outdoors were...
And people were still going out and about.
Yeah, no, it's very normal. They stopped the shisha, I believe, for quite...
Fair.
Yeah, and then, no, things were very...
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad, but... I mean, from a business perspective, because, I mean, from our perspective, given we serve restaurants, I mean, apart from the fact that COVID was bad for everyone, and so was for us, but I think because of our vantage point, we have customers in 50 countries. I could clearly see which country was managed how, and what was the economic impact on its people, on the business that rippled through to next 2-3 years on what country. It was like eye-opening, case study-ish of sorts. Could never understand or draw my conclusion on who was right and who was wrong.
Till this moment, we don't know.
Correct. I mean, but I saw that, how certain governments were pro-economy and certain governments were absolutely disregarding economy. I think that was my takeaway from that. And I can tell you that without naming the countries, I've never said this to anyone before. My decision to double down on certain countries and, just take a step back from some literally came from that experience.
Really?
Where I was like, okay, when shit goes south, this country's government does not really care about economic problems because they're not also aiding. Like, for example, US is clear. They said, stop the business. They started paying people.
True.
That's fair. UK paid its people.
Same.
So then I'm okay. Because now government has an incentive to bring, the economy back. I'm talking about countries where zero accountability on economy, but they said stop the business and they did not allow to start the business. So yeah, I mean, that's to me, I didn't know about Egypt. We didn't have any customers there, hence no view.
Sure.
To me, it's amazing that they were back in 15 days.
And the effect was not that harsh on the country.
I'm sure.
And the herd immunity was on the high side because obviously it's a virus that we will live with. you know.
Correct.
So everyone, and even the death rate was not that high in Egypt. So yeah, we continued the project in 2020.
So you went on to open your first.
We couldn't open in 2020 due to the time consuming in paperwork and documentation, especially the country with COVID. They were definitely struggling with the cash flow, and they were trying to limit as much as they can the imported goods, and especially the goods that they are not essentials for Egyptians.
For the country.
The macaron, frozen macaron, is not something essential to open credits and transfer hard currency from the country to Europe to get some macarons. So yeah, they were a little bit hard on us on this one. But in this time, I was looking for locations for the central kitchen, for the warehousing, and for the macarons, because it needs and requires a special treatment in terms of warehousing. So I need to have a frozen walk-in freezers with some part of distribution channels through panels, through trucks. And then we signed the first location in New Cairo, and at the same time on the East and West Cairo, to cover the two parts of the city. And we succeeded to operate in January 2022. It was the opening for two locations together. It was less than a week time frame between the two openings, with the fully functioning central kitchen with warehousing. I did training in Paris. The chef and the operation manager went to Dubai because it was a UAE investment. They did their training there, and we recruited all the staff locally. I can say Ladurée was, if you want, the PhD.
Was it your MBA?
It was my MBA project, because you lead the process from scratch, literally from scratch, from the company startup as documents till you see two shops fully operating, and it was a hit. Opening Ladurée, everyone was waiting, because Egyptians, they have a passion for France, and the macaron is something very luxurious. So yeah, we had a queue. People were not believing that they're having French macarons in Egypt. It was quite a very interesting opening, and due to some, if you want, the exposure I got through Ladurée, I got a very nice offer from a company it wasn't a company, as it was a company definitely, but it was concerned mainly in developing the Giza Zoo, the animal zoo. It was one of the oldest zoo, by the way. They will open very soon, the grand opening of the zoo. It was, I was the COO of...
At Giza.
At Giza. It was it started in 1890 something. It has historical rivers, historical trees. It's an amazing project. It was a collaboration between the private sector and the public sector in Egypt. So I got a very sexy offer. I couldn't say no for it. So I left Ladurée and I joined this group.
In which year?
2022.
Oh, right after setting up and opening?
I went Ladurée after the opening in, I think, 2 weeks or something. And I joined this journey as COO for this project. It was amazing. I got exposed to things I could not imagine, especially in infrastructure, getting into meetings with the army. They're planning tunnels under the zoo, tenant mix.
What does it take to set up a zoo?
A hell of time, a lot of time.
That I would imagine, but like, what were you discussing?
It was existing already. It is an existing zoo. They wanted to reshape it. It was in a very bad conditions. So they got expertise from France and from Singapore to take over, to handle the animals. You will see something later on when it opens. I'll send you some links. You will see. And if you visit Egypt, you have to go and check what's happening with the zoo. So it was a very challenging and exciting opportunity. And this is the highest position I have got in my career.
But tell me something when you were certainly in the kind of driving seat, operation, CEO of a zoo.
No, I
What-
was handling the part of the F&B inside the zoo. It was the tenant mix,
okay.
the facility, everything related, because they're doing something on international standard. So it's an experience to have outlets. You have to choose which tenant to be overviewing this desert, or overviewing the zebras, or, you know, it's all about how to mix and match concepts with the zoo. Again, it's a massive project. So, but again, in Egypt, the situation was not that stable in terms of currency. The devaluation was up and down. I signed off for a very good package. Then the devaluation happened in August 2022. I was on the same time having my own business. I had food trucks, pizza and burger trucks in Egypt. My wife works in the real estate. I was a COO. Things were perfect. And then the devaluation hit very hard in Egypt. The currency went, the dollar was, I remember, 15.6. Overnight, it went to 35. And now it's around 50. So, yeah, again, the economic situation.
It was 15.6 in
2022.
Oh.
Till August.
Oh,
till
wow.
August. And then it started to devaluate. It reached by end of the year 34, if I'm not mistaken, 35. So your money you're getting, we lost half the value of the money. So
it only helped Egyptians who were living
abroad,
outside.
You're getting USD.
Anybody who was, sending money home
True.
was suddenly, wow, okay.
Yeah. So this was a factor to try to think differently. We thought about, me and my wife, a lot of opportunities. We thought about going to Canada, and we had two choices, whether to go to Canada and to start from scratch there, or to come back to the Gulf, with the Saudi exposure and everything happening in Saudi. So I started doing my connections, and I got this position that I am here. So I moved from Egypt to here in July 2023.
July 23. And till that time, you were still with the same
I stayed with
Zoo.
the group. In parallel, I had this food trucks. And
what was that food truck about?
A food truck, it was named Soho, SOKHO. It was my nickname since I was a kid. This Counter-Strike game. Did you remember?
Yeah, Counter-Strike.
I was very good in that one. So I had a nickname. I don't know from where I got it. So I got this name, and everyone in the neighborhood was calling me with this name as my nickname. So when I opened my project, I called it Soho. It has no meaning except it's my
you just brought
nickname.
So many memories of me playing Counter-Strike multiplayer.
True.
And
it was a big thing.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
We used to go,
Counter-Strike was actually the first-person shooting game that I had multiplayer experience on.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I did this concept and I called it Soho because you have the experience in food and beverage now. When you have your own business, especially in a country like Egypt where it's not stable, so the plan was to have a low capex and the capex that doesn't lose money. So whenever you need to stop the business, you sell the assets and you don't.
So did you buy used trucks?
No, it was because we used to draw kitchens since forever, and we know how to do layouts and to do things, and we have the supply chain. You have everything there. So I did a very nice design. So in my head, it was I want to sell it later on, just to do the setup and to make it big, and then to sell the business. And this is what happened when I was forced to leave the country, or when we decided to leave the country. We sold the business with no losses, financial losses. It's an asset. It's a moving asset. You can put it either here.
How many trucks did you have?
I had 4.
And question. So you took that endeavor, and that was your first taste of running your own business?
As fully, it was the first experience.
What helped? Why did your Ladurée experience open you up to that, or was it something else?
Look, it's a lot of factors. The most important factor is the confidence that you have once you are in a certain, or you have a long time of experience in terms of managing assets and managing money, cash flow, and the experience that you have in a country where you live. You have the supply chain, you have the suppliers, you have the contractors, you know, the mall managements, you communicate, so you have all the formula that helps you to go and do it yourself, plus the money. You start to have money at a certain age, and I've been in the industry for back then 15 or 16 years. So yeah, I decided to go fully by myself. I didn't want to partner with anyone, and I don't regret it at all. It was a great story to tell. But again, we always think that being owner or having your own business will help you to be more chilled, and it's the total opposite. Being an employee on a payroll and getting paid is way easier than managing even food trucks. It's a time consuming. You got phone calls. Sometimes it's make no sense. Some issues with the customers and
but you still have to make sense out of it.
Yeah, you have to. It's your baby at the end of the day. But it's more struggling to operate your own business than being an employee. So
yeah, whenever I read or hear somebody saying I want to start my own business because I want to be my own boss, I generally laugh at it. I'm like, you should try this.
yeah,
You should try this one time, and you will start appreciating a boss a lot more. Somebody
again,
who's
we have it. Once you reach at a certain point, you need to be independent. But it's a decision that you make at a certain point in your life,
Yep.
depending on the conditions that you are in.
And also, I don't think there's anything right and wrong about it. I think it's like I generally tell people, and you know, a lot of young people will come to me and they will be driving the point to be an entrepreneur mostly from ego and the perceived glamour that they feel there is. And I generally tell them that, hey, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur since I can remember. I'm the last guy on earth who will tell you that, oh, don't do this. But the only thing that I can tell you is, don't do this for these reasons. It's not going to be rosy at all. And most of the times, it's not going to be about your skill or about what you deliver. Most of the times, it's only going to be about how much pressure can you take without breaking down. Can you manage your stress? Can you lead with a smile, even if the world is on fire?
Burning around you.
And beside you, nobody gets to even feel that. If you can do that, and this is not, this is not pretense. You need to do this 365 days.
Yeah.
So you can pretend for 2 days. You can't pretend 365 days.
Forever, yeah.
So yeah, it's entrepreneurship I generally tell people that, you know what, think of it like a sport. It's a sport that anybody can watch.
Okay.
But just because you watch it and you feel that it's interesting, doesn't mean you can play it, doesn't mean you should play it, doesn't mean it won't break you down.
True.
So choose a sport that fits you.
Exactly.
If you want to play. If you want to watch, you can watch anything that you want.
Yeah. But it's not meant to you, or it's not for you. So yeah. But again, I will definitely be an entrepreneur. This is the main ultimate plan that we have. But mixing both and maybe being a consultant with entrepreneurship, with holding few shares and some. This is the diversification that you will do for the assets that you have, for the experience. You have to invest it somewhere on a later stage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is on my mind always. So we're here in Saudi now. I've been with the group, as I told you, since July 2023. And we're coping with the Saudi expansion, with all the vibe that's happening in this beautiful city. We love it here. Me and my wife, we have now a beautiful daughter, 1-year daughter.
Congratulations.
We're raising her here. Thank you. We're raising her here in Riyadh. She loves it. For some reason, she's still stupid. She doesn't know a lot of things, but she's happy. She's always happy. And seeing her happy is the ultimate pleasure for us now. So, yeah.
And
we're planning to stay because we forgot about Canada. We don't want to go anytime soon. We heard all the stories. We went there, by the way. We went a couple of times. We spent around 2-3 months there. It's beautiful. I love it, but it's not something that we want to go at this stage.
And I personally feel, and nothing against Canada, although The fact is the economic opportunity in Canada is oversold.
True.
It's not there as much as it is, sold. US is different.
Definitely.
Canada is like, but at the same time, on a more positive note, I feel that the land we are in right now, like Saudi is,
It's
the entire world is watching, and
True.
and it's
True.
it's going through the roof.
Better opportunities, better income. The taxes are you don't take or you don't take the hassle of
Does Egypt have taxes?
It has tax, but you're an expat, so you don't. The company bear all the taxes that you have. But once you are an entrepreneur, you have to pay taxes. So this is where, again, being part of the struggle when you are an entrepreneur, to have to hold the taxes and to manage all the legal part of it. And this is the beautiful part of being responsible and being a natural, responsible person in your career and in your life in general.
Samer, tell me about your leadership style, and I think the fact that you've seen almost all sides of all stages of hospitality.
True.
Started as a busboy, a runner, and to where you are. How has what's your leadership style? How do you work with your people? How do you
Let's agree on something. If you take it from bottom to top, you will learn how to deal with your team when you are in a senior position, when you reach the top. You have to be a leader when you need to be, and you have to be the father when you need to be, and you have to be the mentor when you need to be. So personally, I'm a little bit aggressive in terms of delivering the quality that we are signed off, the quality that the employer is expected from you, the concept is expecting from you, especially in a country, for now, Saudi is very competitive. You need to deliver the consistency, the quality, the service, everything. I am a bit aggressive again in this part. At the same time, I'm a very good listener, and I put things in perspective. So since I am OCD a little bit, and I can set plans, and I can follow the time frame that I put. Again, having the experience on the ground from bottom to top, it gives you the clarity on giving deadlines. I cannot go to a restaurant manager asking him that I need a file from you on a Friday afternoon. This is not logical. So you need to give enough time for them. You need to teach them, to coach them, to always, because your people is your reflection, and this is where you are judged. Whenever you go to any company and you feel that the team is synchronized, it's a show at the end. We always say this: when you go to any restaurant, it's a show, it's a play. The manager has a role, the barista has a role, the waiters has a role. So whenever things go or fit in their places, you will be enjoying as a customer, and as a management, you will be enjoying seeing the success that you can do out of directions, out of logical orders, out of time frame that you give to them, and the time you spend to it's not the one person job, to be honest. And no one says that no, you cannot do by yourself. It's you and the team and all the departments in the organization that they do the job. So our role always as leaders is to try to be the intermediate and to understand the aspects and link things together in order to deliver it to the frontliners and the people that you see. Because customers see only waiters and baristas. At the same time, we have a hell of a job done on the back of the house, on the process of the procurement, the warehousing. This is the drivers. Everyone in the organization play a role on this one. So yeah, we have to be sometimes firm, but we have to be fair with them. Whenever your people see that you are fair with them, when any waiter or any runner comes to you to speak about something happening, definitely the first thing to ask, did you speak with your direct manager? And then if they want to open up, I am a person that is a good listener. And whenever they give me, I don't hear from one side. It has to be two-sided story. So you have to take into consideration sometimes that people are not fair, especially the new managers or someone who is newly promoted. The ego is on the very high side. and he wants to show that he's tough, So yeah, you play this role sometimes, but when it comes to delivering quality, yeah, I have to be very firm in this one.
I see that that you watch yourself, you introspect. I can hear some of that in how you're explaining. What's your listening amongst your people who are managed by you and who are your peers? So if I had to ask somebody, personally, how's Samer, what do you think they will say? Will they say, the guy is tough, angry, we are scared? Will they say, oh, he's very nice, he's chill?
Yeah.
What do you think they'll talk about you?
Let's admit something. I was very furious and nervous when I was younger in age. Okay, with time, I became a little bit wiser. A little bit, my heart got bigger, and accepting sometimes criticism, sometimes pressure. So I'm not a nervous guy, but if they ask them now, how do they feel? They feel that they have this, he's strict. And the same time, whenever we do something bad, he coach us, or he give us the guidelines to solve it in a way. But again, sometimes in the operations, you need to be strict in order things to fall in place. So yeah, they will tell you that he's a little bit tough, but he's fair. And this is the point where I always work on, is being fair. Because once you're fair, they will respect you and they will trust to tell you things they should not trust to tell anyone else, sometimes other departments. So you play always this role that when they come to you, you listen to them first, and then you listen to both parties if there is two parties concerned in this one, and you take the decision based on two sides story.
What has changed in last 10 years in you? One thing that you said is that you used to be a little more,
Yes.
Angry and strict, and now you're a little more accommodating, or maybe
Wiser.
things don't rattle you as much as they used to. And I personally think that's a very big sign of growth.
Yeah.
When you stop reacting to the same things which you used to react on, that means something has evolved. But what has changed in you that you see in yourself on a day-to-day basis, where you feel, hey, you know what, this doesn't sound like me, but yeah, this is me?
Being calmer, being a little bit more calm, especially in stress levels, in operations and in expansion. You face a lot of pressure from top management, from investors, from the ground. So when I got calmer, I can take and absorb stress better than before. I used to sometimes push the table, taking this physical gestures sometimes. Now I stopped it. I'm taking it more chilled. I don't want to show people, and they should not see me in a situation where they frightened or they are influenced by my attitude. This is something I learned how to control it, and to, as you said before, to be happy or smiling, and things are burning outside your back. So yeah, this is something I learned through experience.
What experience made you gain this part the most in your journey so far?
Look, Ladurée, as I told you, Ladurée, it was I was by myself in a country. The investors were not local, so the pressure that you take from all sides, it was massive, and they expect you to perform and to deliver on time without any mistake. So you need to have both personalities in you, and to show customers something and suppliers something, and your top management, they have to see you. And so I learned and mastered this skill to shape my personality now.
One piece on that, you're saying that Ladurée investors for Egypt were not from Egypt.
No. UAE.
So that means they did not know what kind of
the struggle
how many
that you have
on ground
market, definitely.
So And
But the
you're saying,
the decision was to get someone who has the experience
correct.
of this.
You
It
mentioned.
was smart, very smart.
No, but my question is actually more nuanced. That you said that you started in 2020, and the first one really opened in 2022.
2022.
That's a 2-year.
It was actually a year and 7 months, I believe. Yeah. 1.7.
Was it? And I'm assuming that it was not planned as 1 year, 7 months, right? So must have taken massive amount of communication across all stakeholders and especially investors.
Definitely.
Was that a part of? Did that?
Look, they pushed the maximum. Okay, but again, when they do the regular visits and you prove everything and every delay in what you're doing, and sometimes the factors are external. It's not something that you are not following up and you're not doing. No, it's all about the registration process. But it took them a lot of time to understand that in Egypt, you cannot send an email back then to the government asking them about a requisition or a number or, there is nothing like that. So you have to go personally, or the legal person who is registered, he has to go there. Sometimes they speak through a window, the employee is sitting inside, you give them a paper and you wait, reply in return. So to not know the dynamics of the country where you operate and the investors, it is struggling. But again, you have to prove what you are doing. But communication is the key. Whenever they send you someone to double check what's happening, the legal department comes, they have all the proofs, you have all the documents, all the communication. It's just countries. In UAE, you'll not face this because it's easier, the process. In the cities where everything is digitalized, you will not face this. But in the growing countries where still things are manual, you submit papers, documents, list of requirements. Yeah, it's time consuming. But the investor was there. They were very keen to open in Egypt. The UAE investors love Egypt, and there is a love story between GCC people and Egypt. It's very historical. So,
Samer, what I know. I mean, I was also pointing at, and probably at least I was alluding to the fact that, while you keep going back to your Ladurée experience for that shift in independence in executing things on your own, I'm sure it might have taken a whole lot of communication because I have seen that, leaders who are genuinely, good at managing, people down the line are also the ones who are great communicators up the line, right? Unless you do that, down the line, trust is very difficult, to build. You keep struggling always. How do you enrich yourself? How do you work on yourself?
Well, to have the peace of mind without affecting, or with all the chaos happening in your life, you have to at least one part of your life to be very stable. Here it comes the work-life balance, this theory that we always put in hand or in mind. So for me, being stable at home, being stable in your personal life, it will reflect positively on your performance and on your personality and on your behavior at work. So having this stable will get you at workplace to be more understanding the dynamics of your company. Unfortunately, you have to learn politics in the organization, in the corporate life. But politics should not be always nasty politics. It can be good politics. It can be good behavior and good relationship inside the organization, inside the departments. You get what you want from everyone in the organization by being open-minded to criticism, to sometimes you do things, you feel that you need to report to someone in the organization, and your manager, your direct manager, sometimes he doesn't want you to interfere with other departments. So part of being political in a good manner and you show goodwill, this will shape you to go easier. And
that's very cool. Huh? Not many people can actually say that this nicely and get away with it.
I'm trying as much as I can to be
no, but that's
political.
But can you expand there? I think that's very, very valuable. And I hear what you're saying. But are you talking about diplomacy within the organization, or are you talking about why? Or you're saying politics as politics, like
depending on the size of the firm and the complications inside of it. But let's say being diplomatic will get you through a lot of hassle, or avoid your department or your team to be affected by the stress, by sometimes things doesn't go right, so the pressure comes from the top management in so many ways, sometimes direct, sometimes indirect. So again, it comes from your team, people that within your organization and your direct management, they have to be your shield, and you have to be their shield in terms of the stress, how you absorb it and how you give it to them. So again, taking pressure from the top management is not easy. But if you go to the shops and to the restaurants and you are always shouting, angry, and they see you affected by what's happening, they will ask you what's going on, So you absorb it and you distribute it in a nice way to your team.
Land it softly rather than
it's not their fault. People on the ground, they are hard workers, so they don't want as well some we call it bullshit, but sometimes it's higher than that.
Do you in a leadership role, biggest thing is, how do you develop yourself? How do you change yourself? How do you continuously figure out what to work upon to evolve as a person? Sometimes things happen to you and you evolve through them. But do you also do anything proactive? Do you read? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you do something else, that enriches you, including your hobbies?
I mentioned earlier I was good at school. So reading is one of the stress relief that I do. I play basketball just to push, to get all the energy out of my
the physical
system.
part.
Yeah, the physical touch. In basketball, it's so physical, sometimes on defense. So basketball is one of the things I practice it. Reading, definitely.
I remember this. Do you know this comic strip called Calvin and Hobbes?
No.
Very, very popular comic strip globally. Where there's this kid called Calvin, and there is a toy tiger called Hobbes. But in every comic strip, this boy imagines Hobbes to be a real tiger. And he's his friend. So all the strips are conversations between Calvin and the Hobbes. And Calvin is this notorious kid, but very, very sharp, sarcastic. So there's one strip which is my favorite, is where Hobbes and Calvin are sitting, and they're looking into the horizon, sitting on a hilltop. And Calvin is telling Hobbes, he said, Hobbes, people think it's fun to be a genius. But what they don't understand is how difficult it is to put up with all the idiots in the world. So that strip, when you said surrounded by idiots, that's what comes to my mind.
Again, but your experience and your personality will set you and take you through how to deal with them and how to avoid them. Avoiding them is the key, especially in your personal life. You have to be surrounded by people that inspire you. People that you can speak with them other than speaking on people. You can speak ideas, planning, So
who do you take advice from, or where do you go when you are muddled in your head, when you want to clear your head?
I put myself in a plane and travel. That's it. This is the cure for everything. Traveling, and unfortunately, I learned to travel not in my early ages. It was I started officially doing my trips in 2016. So since then, I figured out that There is a lot of things happening in this world. Whenever you go at any destination, sometimes we belittle destinations. We say, what I will go to do there. And then you figure out that this was one of the best trips, one of the best food that you had, you know? So traveling.
So are you a planned traveler or are you
definitely.
like a backpacker?
Of course, with the Lebanese passport I hold, it's not something that you can always, you have to apply on a visa. So I have always the visas ready, just to whenever you feel that you are stuck in a place. Sometimes going for 2 nights, 3 nights will be a cure for your situation.
What do you tell someone who comes to you today, who's young, who wants to enter into restaurant industry as a career, as an employee?
Run. Don't come. No,
But tell me what's your real advice.
Look, as what?
And
as an
employee? Let me expand that question, okay? I truly wonder in 2025 today that the way world is shaping and way the new generation, and I'm not going to blame Gen Z on this. I'm saying that this is a global phenomena where life is becoming so comfortable online in various ways that people really are shying away from any work that requires physical presence and continuous physical toiling. Restaurant industry and hospitality in general is one of the top professions where you need to be physically standing all the time, whether you're in the kitchen or outside. I genuinely wonder that what next 10 years and beyond looks like, because I'm not very sure a very large part of population is going to start, keep working for this industry as much as the previous generations have done.
True.
What's your advice for a newcomer who wants to build a career in restaurant industry? What should they think about? How should they think about it? What's the career?
First of all, they have to know that they are coming to an industry. It's full of stress and it's full of skills. Skills in terms of, as we spoke earlier, you have to master the communication with the customers and the communication with your management and with your employees. If they are not people-oriented, they should not come to this industry. You have to be talkative. You have to be creative in creating topics with your customers. You have to be not high tech, but you have the part of tech now is very crucial, essential in terms of the softwares, in terms of the online aggregators. They need to understand this business is mostly based on service. Despite all the technology and everything happening in this industry, and definitely in 10 years, it will be more sophisticated. But at the end of the day, when you have millions of options to choose from, sometimes you choose to go to this place physically, or you order from an aggregator. So quality and consistency, this is a key in hospitality. Okay, so if you are coming a new hire or a new joiner, or you're planning to have an experience, you have to be we call it down to earth. You cannot directly be a manager, and this is something that I lived in Egypt and I lived in several countries. Everyone wants to be a manager, so it's like that. You
but honestly, nobody wants to manage.
Exactly. They dream to be a manager because they want the benefits of the manager, the salary of the manager, but they don't want to do the efforts needed to become a manager. As I told you, you have to come from very bottom of this industry to understand its dynamics, to be a good manager, So it's not, I will not blame Gen Z, they are better than us, maybe. They will make money more than we do. They have their ideas. I'm not that old to say that for them. I'm like, but there is an age gap. We can see it now in the environment, but there's still in our region, there is hard workers, especially the people that they come from the Philippines, from India, from the people that they really work. They are hard workers. Egyptians are hard workers. Iraqi people, they are hard workers. Lebanese are hard workers. Gen Z is mainly for the innovation, for the people, Saudi people, UAE people, that they have the will, they have the material, they have the money, they have the education needed to be entrepreneurs, many entrepreneurs or people that they are more into online things. But for the people getting to the industry, they need to be down to earth. They need to be very, the tolerance should be very high in terms of getting all the stress from the work environment. And they need to be in love with food. They need to know how to eat. You know, sometimes we meet people and they are high position. They don't know how to eat. They don't feel the food. They don't eat by their senses. You know, they just eat. They just judge by portion size or by the look of the food. So you need to have the passion for the food, so you can work on your taste buds.
How's what are you doing at Patchi that is different from what you have done before? What's new for you?
What's new for me is the retail part, to have that big retail section inside a restaurant. Because as you know, Patchi is a chocolatier.
Chocolates.
So the chocolate business is the main business in this brand. So the cafe business or the restaurant business comes to accommodate the chocolate. So the assumption in the people's head is Patchi is chocolate, you know? So the struggle that we are and the efforts that we are doing to change this perception about Patchi as a name is to not link it directly to chocolate. It will stay forever as a chocolate place. But you expect from this well-positioned brand to give you the best coffee, the best dessert, the best food you have. So what I'm doing differently now is because it needs more efforts than being an F&B concept from day one. If you said the concept from day one that you are a food destination, it's easier than to have a brand that is labeled as chocolate and to give it the F&B impression. So what I'm learning here is how to appreciate the chocolate and how much people love chocolate. We love chocolate. Everyone loves chocolate. So, but I didn't know here in Saudi, people, they appreciate that much the chocolate and they consume chocolate. We see it in Ramadan. We see it in the high season. They're crazy about the chocolate, and it's very sensitive and delicate item. And people
have you started, noticing different kinds of cacao and basis their roasting?
By
what kind
default, yeah, definitely, because you're working with several kinds of chocolate and the preferences of the guests. Sometimes they come and ask us about why don't you do this, and we take it into consideration. We report for the factory, and people are asking about this and that. So yeah, it's happiness. It's like selling ice cream, chocolate and ice cream. You cannot have an ice cream when you are sad. Maybe sometimes you're depressed, you eat chocolate, but these are two items that they go with your mood. And when you want to pamper yourself, you go for a nice coffee with a piece of chocolate. So this is where now I appreciate more the chocolate business and how you integrate it in the restaurant business. Yeah.
And what will you advise a new aspiring restaurateur who comes to you and says, hey, I think restaurant business is booming and Saudi is growing, or restaurant business in general?
Yeah.
What is it that you will tell a new person who's trying to jump into restauranting as an owner, as an entrepreneur?
First of all, they have to have a concept. Having a concept in mind and not to copy others. What we're facing in this region and this area, that we copy anything that is working, okay? And this is not right. Whenever you want to go to any market, Saudi or UAE or wherever you want to go, you have to dig a lot in the market. You have to do your studies based on accurate figures. You have to buy some reports. You have to invest in doing PR and talking to professionals. You have to know the main, if you want to say, figures that will make you or make your business.
But that is something that, I'm just saying, that is exactly what consultants do.
Exactly.
So,
and you can pay for
so then how do people keep going? wrong, because there are so many people who keep, investing millions in the restaurant and then shutting it down either in a year or, maybe a little over a year. Uh, Consultants bring in exactly what you're saying, right? So how
Not
does
all the consultants are good. Some consultants are really bad in what they do. So, and this is a clear example that sometimes you spend money in the wrong direction, or you get people to your organization that they are not fully aware of the market, the location. But again, it's not about one topic. If you want to break it down, we can go into details. But the first and the most important thing is the concept that you are developing and you are working on it. Does it fit the market that you are entering in? Does it fit the taste buds of the locals? Because let's be realistic, in most of the cities you work on locals. So having a good concept that matches the local consumers in a nice location with a nice feasibility study, it cannot go wrong, I believe. But with the experience that we have now in Saudi, the newcomers, they have to be very keen about the size of the location. Because I came here, we saw the old restaurants, they have 400, 500, 600 square meters. And this is a lot to do in such a market, because the OPEX is on the very high side and you need to test the water. You cannot test the water if you're coming new with huge locations and you don't have the know-how. Even if you hire the best people in the market, if you as owner or as a board member or whatever, you don't have the experience of the market, you will fail, because your judgment will be very unrealistic. People on the ground will tell you something and you will be doing the total opposite. So yeah, you have to go smaller in size now. A very well-planned feasibility study. The figures should be very accurate from people in the market to tell you which directions. You don't have to come with the concept that have no suppliers here, no supply chain, or you start to change with the recipes just to accommodate the market dynamics. So it's a bunch of criteria.
Do you think that you said something that that instead of, you should not just copy others or what's working, but if I expand that a little bit, I also feel that there is an other extreme hypothesis that people come up with, and they will say, hey, we are bringing this new concept that nobody has done ever before. And I mean, sometimes there are outliers who kind of open their doors and there are queues outside.
Sure.
But those are outliers. Most of the times, I actually see that bombing completely, because of course nobody has done that concept. There's no market for it.
Sure.
So, what do you think? Would you rather sell shawarma in Saudi than maybe I don't know what cuisine, maybe Peruvian food?
Yeah, it's all about what's the plan of having you just want to make money. You can go with the shawarma and the class B and C category that is never ending. Here the population is very big and you can accommodate with this classification. But again, you're an investor, you're coming to do concept that will make you money, or you're building a company or a brand that it will expand. Let's agree on something. Mono brand, it will not work anymore in the future 5 or 10 years. You have to diversify your portfolio, because one concept, you cannot put everything in one concept. You cannot be good in delivery. You cannot be good in seating. You cannot be good in coffee in one concept. So people here, because the diversity of the city and the different segment, you have to have a supply for each category. You cannot target only one segment and you say, I want to do everything in this concept. So depending on the vision and depending on the business plan that you're doing and the size of the investment, you cannot come to this city with a small investment and you're expecting to make millions out of few bucks. So the main concept is to come with a clear vision to what you're coming to, a big city or big country like Saudi.
And I think while I agree, I think the piece which you said first, that if you want to make money, if you just want to make money, go with shawarma. I think it's
the easiest option.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I see that paradox all the time. I mean, at least in my area of work, I always tell, let's say if an entrepreneur comes to me starting a tech business, I generally will tell them that, trust me, if there is an idea that only you are getting and nobody else is doing that in the market, please double check. Probably it's a bad idea. Probably, or probably people have tried it
and failed.
and that's why you don't hear that. Very few times there are disruptive things that come out of nowhere which humanity has not seen. Most of the times it's just an incremental better value on your existing one. Samer, this was a phenomenal conversation. I see that you have charted a great journey so far.
I have a lot to do still.
Yeah, and congratulations. While I'm congratulating you on it, I really am grateful that you shared that with us. This was really great.
Thank you for having me, and I wish that we can meet more often when you are here in Saudi. And I hope that what we said can help like a little bit for people or inspire people that they are coming or new joiners for this industry.
Absolutely it will. Thank you.
Thank you.